Hey guys, it's Rob Sutton. I've got something I'm pretty excited to talk to you about, so let's skip all the formalities. Roll that intro. Hey guys, so the video I'm coming to you with today is about the N0P0WER computer build. Over the past couple years, actually about the last 7 or 8, I've been using basically iMacs and MacBook Pros for all of my editing needs. While those computers have been great at doing what they do, I've been wanting to do something a little bit more custom that's actually featured in the house. This would double as an editing rig and a server for the house that we can use our multiple laptops to store files and use remotely when I'm on the road. The idea with doing a PC build instead of just buying another iMac or a Mac Pro is that I'd be able to load it with storage and pick out the components I wanted while also kind of stylizing it in a way that, I found fit. First, before we go into the PC part of the build, let me talk a little bit about N0P0WER and where that started. The term N0P0WER actually started with a friend of mine in the Subaru community when he had his STI and moved on to a BRZ. The idea is with that flat floor design with no forced induction, it literally had no power. The car was slow. Was it a great handling car? Was it a lot of fun to drive? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, here's a rig shot I took of it when we were on one of our trips. Right here. Really cool build on some black raised wheels. On the back of the car is a vanity tag that says N0P0WER. It was a joke about the car that he really liked. Then when I sold my Subaru and picked up a CTS-V that I was planning on doing a full build on, the joke was, why don't you do N0P0WER as well, and it'll be the opposite of what it stood for on the BRZ. Forward at the end of the CTS-V build, it was 1,306 wheel horsepower that I competed in half-mile races with. So when I drove around with the N0P0WER tag on the back, it was this ironic thing that kind of just made everyone laugh, and we really enjoyed it. The reason I wanted to model this PC build after that car is that I really enjoyed the overall look of the car. I took a long time in picking out the parts and everything to make it really mesh together. There wasn't one part that stood out, but the overall black, blue, and stainless theme really carried throughout the entire car, and even into the interior when I put in some black Alcantara with blue stitching. The idea with this PC build will be the exact same thing. I want, when you look at the computer through the tempered glass, that not one part stands out, but there are little nuances here and there that when you look at them really kind of bring the detail to the build without taking away from the overall look from the case and the internal. I don't want you to look at the case and see, wow, look at those RGB fans. I want you to look at the case and see an entire build with little accents that really bring it to life. So now that we've kind of brought up the history of N0P0WER and why I want to kind of do a tribute build on this computer, let's talk about the components and what we're actually going to be working with. Starting off, I wanted it to be that kind of simple overall look like I did with the Cadillac. So what we're going to use is this Nzxt S340 Elite case. Did a lot of research into what case I wanted to use because it was really important to me how it looked on the outside. This Nzxt has the most industrial kind of black look to it, which really mimicked the look of the CTS-V, with a really nice tempered glass cover that made it so that you could see the internals really clearly. So this is the actual S340 Elite case. Top and rear mounted fans that I'll probably leave alone for now. It does have a whole I/O up top for VR gaming. That probably won't be touched too much, to be honest. This case is going to sit underneath those shelves, and all of my USB connection, everything will be all handled hidden. Very nice tempered glass front where you can see all the components and where you're going to mount them. The only thing I probably would do just a little bit differently, and I'm not really sure you could find a case that even does this, but when you have the mounts for your SSD drive, so we have 3 of them here. I loved if you didn't use one of those mounts, when you took it out, it looked like it was never there to begin with. It would just make for a little bit cleaner overall look. In this case, over time, I'll probably fill all 3 of them. But right now, with the initial part of the build, I'm looking at really just doing this front-facing one with the Samsung drive. Nzxt actually uses a wire management system in the back of the back case. These plastic clips that it will actually hold all the wires in are a really nice feature. I'll use them with a combination of zip ties. There's been some complaints that they feel a little bit flimsy, but I haven't heard of any breaking yet, so that should be a good deal. The front of the case pops off for the installation of the dual 140mm fans for the radiator. Airflow comes in from the top and bottom of the case when you reinstall that front panel, and from everything I've seen, that should be adequate flow for the fans for the radiator. Keeping with that theme that I don't want any component to really stick out, we are going to water cool the CPU. It's kind of a throwback to the intercoolers in the CTS-V. This won't be a custom water cooled loop as of right now. Actually, it would be kind of cool to do one that had a reservoir tanks that mimicked a nitrous bottle. The water cooling aspect of this build is going to be pretty simple. I'm using the Nzxt self-contained unit with the dual fan radiator. It'll be a nice accent with the blue lighting on the pump that will actually complement the entire build. For the processor, we're looking at the 8700K from Intel that will be overclocked, preferably to about 5 gigahertz. That again brings back to the CTS-V build where we're going to take everything and kind of push it that extra edge. Will this be an all-out, no expense spared build? No, but it will be dollar for dollar exactly what I need for Lightroom, Premiere, Photoshop, and maybe even some light gaming. I'm gonna steal one of the black edition GTX 1070 from EVGA off of my mining rig. It's actually a black edition card, so it doesn't have a back plate. I happen to have another one of their super clock cards that actually has a back plate, so I'm gonna rob it off of that one and put it on the black edition card so that it looks really clean on the top side when it's mounted in the case, so you can see it through the tempered glass. There's going to be some subdued LED lighting, just enough blue to bring out the components in the case and really feature them. Power supply is going to be handled by an EVGA 1000 watt Gold Series. For storage, we're going to load it up with Seagate Barracuda drives. We're going to use those as server hard drives in the house, and I'm going to use them as long-term storage for video. On top of that, I'm going to have a couple of SSDs in the SSD card slots. Those are going to be used for active projects and scratch disks, and then an M.2 drive from Samsung to use as a boot disk and for applications. For the motherboard, I'm looking at the ASRock Extreme 4. Dollar for dollar, it seems like the best performance out of the bunch, and for the M.2 drives and some other things I'm trying to do with that board, along with the subdued RGB lighting that's on that board, it should look really good in the overall build. Like I said, I'm really excited about this PC build. It's weird for me to get excited about a PC build as a die-hard Mac guy, but it's been a while since I've built one, so this is really going to be kind of a fun process. And once all the components actually get in, I've got the board coming in tomorrow and some other pieces. I'll do a timeline and we'll do some benchmarks and stuff and have some fun with it. But overall, it's going to be featured in my office, which was originally supposed to be a living room for a 5th bedroom. So it really needs to look clean, and it's going to sit underneath a shelving unit that you'll be actually able to see when you walk in the house. So the very subtle lighting and overall look of the case is really going to be important to me, so we'll really take it detail by detail. If you have any questions or anything, hit up the comment section. Of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll leave all the details to all the components and everything we talked about down in the description. And until the next one, see you guys later.